Hello, everybody. God of Gold back at it again with another tutorial. Now, today's tutorial, as what the title will suggest, it will give you the basics on how to use Photoshop. Now, this is a very handy tool once you get the hang of it, which is the purpose of this tutorial. I'm trying to help people who are confused on the software so that they can just simply use it, at their own leisure. Now, to start off with, you can drag and drop an image in here. Let me resize this. So you can put any image. So what I could do, I don't know, say for example, let me go on my mod file. So this is a mod I'm working on for Hoi 4. Nothing major, but if you are interested in the mod, I might feature that in the link in the description below. But let's say, I don't know, this photo. Let's drag and drop that in. Yes, you can do that, or you can go to open, blah, blah, blah. Now, how this works is you have automatically, I know this looks daunting at first. I was, worried too myself when this showed up. But most of these, I usually don't worry about. I don't know, do I worry? Yeah, maybe this tool is handy in terms if you want to, separate letters and stuff. Here, let me show you a quick example. But before I do, let me just give you basic controls. So, you can do this with the zoom tool. You can zoom out. And if you hold, you can do this. Now, sometimes this may not work. You may have to refresh it. But aside from that, it's pretty handy. Here's the text tool, for example. You can type, again, anything you want in this layer. In fact, once you click this piece, it'll automatically add a text layer for you. So, for example, you want to do something like, this is my farm. Now, you may not be able to see it properly. That's because if you go up here, it's white. Because as you see, it's white here. How do you fix it? Well, you can do this, or you can just retype the whole thing over. It's your call. Say if you want to make it red, you can do that. And what will happen is, you may notice the letters are a little spaced out. So we're going to fix this. Go to the character tool, and you can set it at anything. Personally, I like to use the scroll wheel. You click it right here, and you just move it up by, okay, it's a little confusing. It's almost like an aircraft. So you move it up by scrolling down on your scroll wheel, and if you scroll up on your scroll wheel, the letters and words go down. So you can control the spacing. I would recommend probably 30-ish, but it also depends on your font size. So that you just gotta mess with it. I'm sure. Don't worry about all this other stuff. It's just extra, tools to help you. I might do an in-depth tutorial, but that's basically how it works. Now let's talk about the paintbrush. Now this is another tool that I found myself using way too often. This is just one of your basic tools, as well as pencil. Oh, and I forgot to say, if you right click on one of these tools, you can get more sub tools within that category. I've used the paintbrush, pencil. I use the fill, eraser. Yes, eraser, pretty self-explanatory. I think I used the shape tool. Yes, I did. Of course, the zoom tool, and this is the select tool up here. I'm sorry if I'm going a little fast. Okay, so this is the zoom tool, and up here is the select tool. You could also do something called lasso select, where you can wrap around stuff like selected objects, and it'll move on its own. But as long as it's its own layer. But I'll save that for probably another video. But for right now, it's just the basics. Now, anyways, say you use the brush tool. There's so many things you can do with this. You could draw on it, and if you want it done, you could like, if you want to revert it, you can press either Control Z or just go up here to edit, undo brush tool. Now, I mentioned stuff in my other video about, me using Photoshop. It is a handy tool, but, you just gotta get used to it, Just practice more with it. For me, it took probably 3 months to, get to know it, and it took me 2 months to perfect my skills. So, I don't know. So I'd say it could take you anywhere between 3 to 5 months just to learn, and that is the honest truth. Granted, it is time consuming, but once you learn it, it is worth it. I cannot, make that up. It's so handy as a tool. The way that it works is amazing. So, I mean, if you don't want to learn Photoshop, I highly suggest, you go somewhere else. But yeah, that's basically it. Now, here's the kicker, is that notice how I'm selecting my brush tool. Here's a special thing you could do. If you go to add layer down here, it's the plus button. If you scroll over it, it'll say create a new layer. I know the mouse piece is the clicker is right there, it's blocking it, but that's what it says. Now, this plus sign adds a layer. This trash sign on the right of it destroys it. Now, the folder tool is really handy, because what that could do is, say for example, if I select these layers, right, I could put that in a folder. It organizes it. It helps with my work. So if I do this, as you can see, it's now one folder. You can rename the folder, like my folder, and you can also rename stuff like, I don't know, farm. Like, you can rename the layers. This is my farm. That's okay. I have to break something to you, just in case, because this can get confusing. If I put text right here, this doesn't change. If you want to change it, you have to click on the T twice. Then you can do, I changed this to what I want. Basically, as an example. And it retains its spacing using this character tool and the size of the letters, the font size. Now, fun fact, if you select the folder, and this is how you move stuff, by the way. You don't just, select it and drag. I mean, that's one way to do it, but it's only certain circumstances when it's necessary. For example, if you press Control plus T, Control T at the same time on your keyboard, it creates this little grid line around it. This is really cool. So you can drag, and see these pink or purplish lines right here? These lines help with making it more centered. Like, for example, you can center it like this. You can adjust it a bit, like you can fix it to adjust to the size. If you want it a little smaller or really small, you can do that. Now, here's the thing. If you want to select the text individually, Now, this is another neat factor. You use Control T, like I showed you, but if you scroll up, you can see all these options. This is width, height, stuff like that. You can probably do angles if you want to. Like, yeah, you see? It starts to change. So, like, for example, if I put it at a 30-degree angle, it's going to do that. But I don't use it often. This just demonstration. Height, that's, I guess you could say it's, well, oh, that's the other thing too. If you pull on this without holding down shift, like if you do this, hold down shift, it stretches it. But if you just release it, you can do this. Resize it, like so. Now, another good thing is, okay, I recommend doing this with just one line, but if you do it, you can try it. This tool up here, switch between free transform and warp modes. What this does is, it could basically make your text bend, which is by far one of my most favorite things to use when it comes to using text here. But before I do, I think I kind of forgot to mention, I apologize about this. If you go to the corners, like you know how I mentioned this? Well, in the corners, this doesn't happen. What happens is this. You drag the letters, and it makes for a really nice thing. And also, if you want to reset it, if you don't think it's, you know, properly aligned back to its linear form, just go up here. You could do 0. You can just type 0, 0, 0. I mean, that's what I'd do anyway. So then, meantime, let's go up here, the free transform mode. Now, what this would do is, yeah. So you select the box, and you make sure this is activated. You can click it again to deactivate it, but for the purpose, I'll just leave it like this. You can do this. Grab this. I know, freaky, right? You can do that. It's really versatile of what you can do in Photoshop, and this is one of the reasons why I love it so much. It's so good. I'll never forget a friend of mine, I won't mention his name, but he taught me how to do this and on Discord, and this guy was amazing at it. Like, he taught me everything I needed to know. And now I am here to try and help you understand the software. One more thing for your basics stuff. Colors. Yes, I probably should have started out with this. Now, everything else, don't worry, we'll advance as we go. But for right now, I want to try and, you know, get the basics down. Now, colors, this is pretty obvious. You can select a color thing. But as you notice, down here, it also changes color. So for example, if you want it black, it turns to black. You can see it on both palettes here. Up here and down here. Now if you want to make it white, you can do that. Or if you want to make it blue, like I have it set on right now. Now here's another way to do it. Swatches. Swatches are really handy. Portrait making colors, that's what I use for modding. You can select, like, these are your recent colors that you used. But if you use them again, they move up again. So, for example, like, as you see right now, I'm changing colors for the text, and it's making it look different, which is, it's cool. Now, RGB, you can use these if you want. I don't know. It's there's so many options you can use here. You can use grayscales, CMYK. You could do light You could do dark, you could do pure, you could do darker, or you can do pale. A lot of things you can use with Photoshop. It's so... And I know, I apologize for emphasizing it too much, but this tool, it really is good. You just gotta get used to it, you know? Here's my advice. If you need to replay this tutorial again, you can, but just understand one thing. These are your biggest defaults to use, and probably your most common ones, if I may. So these are your basic tools on the left. It's much like Microsoft Paint, but more advanced, if that makes any sense. So you have your tools over here, you have your options up here, and other stuff for like the image, as well as the modes and stuff. The home button, that basically sends you back, I think, to the main thing. Here, let me see. Yeah, you see? Sends you back. But if I go back in, it brings you back to this. So I guess it saves your session, you know, as long as you know exit out, which is good. So, these are your layers. Folder, add a layer, delete. The other stuff, what was this? I can't remember the name tool. Layer mask, that's where, like, if you select an object, it masks everything else except for the object that you selected. That's another good one, but I think I might demonstrate it in the next video. This video might have gone on too long. I apologize if it was boring, but I'm trying to help you guys with learning how to use this. So this was part 1. Part 2 will come out soon. I hope this helped, and I wish you the best on learning how to use this software if you get it. So yeah, have a good day, and God of Gold is out.